What's up, peeps? Welcome to the Up and After podcast. Grab a mug. Let's have a talk.
What do you want? It's too early for visitors.
I then awake as refreshed and recharged as a newborn child, ready to take on the day's challenges.
Welcome to the Up and After podcast. I am your host, Chris, with my co-host.
Hi, I'm Riley. I'm here.
And today we're opening up the Thor.
How long did it take you to come up with that intro?
10 seconds.
Okay. Cool.
Today we're opening up the Thor to the fourth installation in the Marvel.
Yes.
Fourth installation in the Marvel universe, cinematic universe. That is. That's all I got. You got anything you wanna?
Dude, this is a weird movie. I'm interested to talk about this one because I remember every time I would rewatch these movies, I would get to this one, and I have very fond memories of it. Yeah, even though I would recognize its flaws. Watching it together, I did still enjoy the parts I really enjoy about it, but I also there's a lot in this movie that really doesn't need to be there, I think.
Yeah,
we could definitely get into that.
Well, first, before we start to talk about the movie, how are you? How are you doing? I said I was going to start doing that.
Right. We recorded our last one, and I was sick then. I'm not sure how much that came across. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm planning to. I'm still a little bit sick, so once again, I will be muting so that we don't have to edit out coughs every 4 seconds. Other than that, I think I'm doing all right. I've been working my job I just got done with my probationary period at my job, so
nice.
I hopefully should have a secure career going forward. I've lost 28 pounds in 3 months. So
fuck yes,
that's pretty good.
Hopefully not to just stress, but
no, I've been doing a lot of walking. It's good. I'm doing really well right now. How are you?
I'm good. Just been working usually. And like I said last time, just working on film stuff, so kind of doing a lot of back end stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to start writing a script for the thing I want to do for my YouTube.
Nice.
So I'll probably start that. But yeah, I'm doing good otherwise.
Right.
Yeah, but let's get into this film.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Man, Thor. Okay, I actually, for these ones, I didn't make notes for the last one just because I didn't really feel like it would work too well. But for all the Marvel ones, I write notes as we watch. And definitely, I wanted to just dive right in here because the movie does. How do you feel about this movie starting in media res?
Is that what it's called?
in media, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Starting in the middle and then going back. The classic.
Oh. Is that?
Classic,
I've never heard that.
10 hours earlier or whatever.
Interesting.
In media res. How do because I always think about that they start this movie with them like, oh, the storm here, and then Jude, a guy came out of the sky. Where did he come from? And then it like flashes back.
Boom.
I
Lost.
Because of Lost, I guess maybe.
No, I was saying like it reminds me of Lost.
Okay.
Like, where did he come from? And it's like, boom. Like, yeah.
Guys, where are we? I just don't know. I'm not too sure if that was necessary.
Okay, so this. Well, let me answer your question. I think it's cool, but at the same time, maybe it would have been cooler if the intro was a little cooler, but I don't know how you would do that. I don't know. I kind of like it, to be honest. I think I do sit on the side. I like it more than I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actively dislike it or have anything specifically wrong with it. I just wonder what the motivation was for doing it.
I think it's just an artist thing.
It's not like they're like, oh, we need to hook people in, because they already start with like a backstory about like this big war between Asgardians and Frost Giants and stuff.
Oh yeah, you're
and
right.
I feel like that's already like at least something to try and grab the audiences with, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just an artistic thing. I think I don't know. It's fine. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
as soon as this movie started, by the way, before I even have the in media res note, I have as soon as the movie started, he said, "Yeah, Dutch angle."
Dutch angles,
because this movie was directed by Kenneth Branagh of Harry Potter fame. Of course, he played Gilderoy.
Which one?
He was in the second one. He played Gilderoy Lockhart, the teacher who like lied about all his accomplishments.
The one who had the snake on the back of his head?
No, that was the first movie. He was it was in the second movie. He is the guy who came in and he like had all the books that he had written about himself.
Yeah. Okay.
But it turns out he had basically just lied about everything, and he took other people's accomplishments and then wiped their memories.
Oh yeah,
Okay. That's Kenneth Branagh, and he directed this movie. And he really likes Dutch angles. To an upsetting degree. Maybe not Battlefield Earth levels, but there are.
Was that directed by him too?
No.
Okay.
God no.
Okay.
But yeah, there are just a lot of Dutch angles, and it really doesn't need to be the case. You know.
I was thinking like at first I was going to take on the task of counting every Dutch angle, but then I was just like, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I was like, I could just probably Google search it.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm going to Google search that.
Yeah, go ahead. But I also want to say like this is the one thing I kind of like as a filmmaker. There's always like you kind of want to stand out. Like, what do you want to do in your film? What's one thing that sets you aside? Like when you look at, I think a good example or two good examples is Ted Burton and what's his name? I'm thinking of the movies made. He made Budapest Hotel. He made Isles of Dogs. Man, what is? Oh God!
You are talking about
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson.
Oh yes. Like when you see those guys, they have very distinct styles, especially Wes Anderson. I mean, Tim Burton too, but Wes Anderson too. He has a
You said Ted Burton. I'm like, is that someone I don't know?
Ted?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
I meant to say Tim. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, with Wes Anderson. Like he has this distinct style, right? So I'm thinking like watching this movie, I'm like, I wonder, because I haven't seen anything he's directed, at least from the top of my head, I don't know. I'll probably have to look it up, but I'm just like, I wonder, was he like, this is going to be my thing, is Dutch angles? But like, I think he failed to forget that sometimes, like, your camera is also telling a story, and like, what am I getting by having Thor talk to me sideways? Like, what is it supposed to represent in the film, or is it just because it's cool?
I looked up an article about talking about the cinematographer talking about his decision making, and it's okay, here we go. He said it was a hard decision to make, but it seemed to be a very simple way of showing kind of the difference between dissonance and harmony in a character or a landscape, and without much, and it seemed to work in that graphic world that the comic books had come from, and it also seemed to trace back to the German expressionist idea of delving deep into the soul and into the psyche.
Okay, well, there you go.
I mean,
as long as it has a reason.
I appreciate you put that much thought into it, but we're talking about a fucking Thor movie, so
that's fair. That's fair.
I would have respected it more if he just said, "Well, it looks like a comic book more," I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't like the choice of and this isn't really necessarily about cinematography or anything of that nature. I don't know if the director had any choice in this, but I do not like the choice of going to New Mexico, especially this one town that like it has one stoplight. What is this about?
I mean, they literally built that entire town for the movie, which is kind of
it looks like it. It definitely looks like it, because it's like one of those things where artificial. Yeah, because if you look outside the town, there's nothing else.
I mean,
you see what I'm saying? Like it's just flat land. It's like this definitely looks like.
Honestly, that kind of checks out for America in the Southwest, but
maybe I guess it just seems too, because it just looks like 4 quadrants, if that makes sense, of a city, of like a street.
It looks like a video game level. where it's
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't
you know,
look
there's a lot of
real.
details in this one four-way intersection, but there's nothing beyond it.
Nothing else. Yeah, it's like if you blew too hard, the little fucking sheets would just fall over, and you're like, see, yeah. But yeah, I just New Mexico, such a strange choice.
I mean, I guess is that a problem for you then in this movie that they frame it as like a fish out of water story where Thor spends most of his time as a human in New Mexico?
You know, I think. Yeah. Okay. So I feel a few ways about it. Yes, I do think that's a crutch of this film, but not a crux. Is it crux with an X or is crutch?
Crux
like
would be
crutches?
Like the main part. A crutch would be something the movie relies on.
So crux.
For better. Well, a crux. I don't think crux is the word you're looking for. Crux is. How would you define it? Crux is the basic, central, or critical point or feature. Is that what you're looking for?
No.
All right.
I'm looking for. Or am I? Maybe I'm just using words. I know I use them.
Word.
The main issue with this film,
okay,
it being set in New Mexico, or this particular little area, or Thor being a human majority of the film, I don't think, like, story-wise, that would be bad. But because it's not executed well,
okay,
I'm like,
so not a bad idea,
I'm like, I don't need this. Yeah, because Thor doesn't like if I have only seen this movie once, now twice, and now watching it older, I'm like, oh wow, like Thor. There's not much Thor in this movie.
I was gonna say there was a point in the movie. I'm trying to remember when it was. It was when they separated for the first time. Like when he's like, all right, I'm gonna go see the satellite, and Selvig is like, Jane, you shouldn't go with him. He's crazy. And she's like, all right, fine. This is where we part ways. And he's like, well, it's been an honor to meet you. And then he walks off. And after that point, he doesn't show up for a good few scenes. Like they go back to Asgard where they show like the warriors and like Loki becoming king, I think. And then it cuts back down to Earth where it's like Jane and the guys are doing something else. And then there's like another scene, I think. And then finally he shows back up where I think he like does the thing where he walks into the pet shop to get a horse, I think is what shows up.
And then Jane shows back up.
Yeah, it's like a full three scenes where he's just not there. It's like, dude, this is a Thor movie.
Yeah, it's just really strange. I guess when I was a kid, I was just like, this is boring. And like, yeah, it can be boring because there is no Thor. You know, as a kid, you want to see the hero, right?
Right.
And you're not seeing that until the very end, like the suit up, you know, is
right,
the end.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
So I get what they were doing, right? It's not the hammer and the outfit and the god powers that make him a hero. It's like his heart and the choices he makes. You know, I get where they're coming from doing that. It just doesn't make for a very entertaining thing to watch as a whole.
Well,
you know, everyone remembers when we talk about Thor. They remember him, Thor, the god of thunder, doing all this crazy stuff. You know, that's the thing people remember about him. But here's the thing about this movie is that I actually really like Thor in this movie. I actually really like him on Earth, just like interacting with these people, and I just like how he's, you know, he doesn't understand their customs, and he doesn't really have this understanding, and he's supposed to be this like braggadocious person, but he's still pretty likable, you know? I always remember him at like that diner with them, and he's just like, oh, this is good, another! And it's like, you shouldn't do that, but it's like, and he has this great moment, I think I wrote it down, right after that, where he's like, all right, well, you can't do that here, you know? Please, no more smashing. And he's like, you have my word. And he's like, dude, this is so classy. Like, he's like a really classy guy when he needs to be. And and Kat Dennings like takes a picture of him for her Facebook, and he just like gives her the best like smile for the picture ever. It's great.
Yeah, I think, why I think it could work if, like, I think he could have did like this whole like he becomes like a god on Earth in the sense of like he starts to do like superhero things without being the like thunderous, boisterous. Like he's just like, I'm gonna help this cat out the tree.
God damn.
Yeah, no, but like it would be funny, but also it would show like I think it would be really cool if you did like not just a cat in a tree, but like really cool. Like he's basically crime fighting without his powers and stuff. Yeah, and people are like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Thor," right? Like,
yeah, I guess
I think that would have worked.
They wanted to focus more on the relationship which I think is the next big thing I wanted to ask you. What do you feel about the chemistry between Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman?
I was thinking about this because I felt like I knew you were going to ask me this.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I so much wanted to like this. And it's not that I hate it. I just think it's so bog standard. Like, it doesn't, like, it's just like baby's first relationship type of thing, you know? And I kind of wish.
I think in terms of the writing, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really like the actors' chemistry together. I think they actually really work as, like, a budding couple in this movie. But you're right, I think the writing doesn't really do it many favors.
Yeah, I guess because I'm looking at it as one scene that really stuck out to me is the kind of close to the end. We're about 3/4 into the movie. You have or maybe it's the end, the altercation between Loki and Thor, and Loki goes, "What is it? Is it that woman?" Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, this would be really cool if they set up that, like, maybe Thor was like, he didn't really like understand his father, but the way that he was able to understand his father and being a hero is through this woman, you know, like she kind of shows him like, hey, like it's cool to be like understanding and blah blah blah. I don't know, maybe he talked about his father and then she kind of like, well, I sit on your father's side, I understand this, yada yada. And I think that would have made me like, oh yeah, like I like that, you know. But as for their chemistry alone, it was fine. Like,
so basically, you want to, you know, Thor has this big moment at the end where he makes a heroic sacrifice. Like he does something that puts himself in danger over anyone else, like all the people behind him. He's like, all right, you guys get back. I'm gonna stop this thing. And you wish she had a bigger part to play in helping him get to that point, because as it stands, it doesn't seem like it seems like he basically came to the decision all on his own.
Yeah, and I'm fine with him coming to the decision all on his own. It just didn't quite feel like, I don't know. I guess it didn't feel like he got there naturally. I don't know how to explain it. I guess I was just kind of like, oh, where was the heel turn for him? Was it Odin dying? And he was like, oh, like I kind of fucked up and I didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
and that kind of makes sense.
I agree in that. I agree in that they didn't do. They might not have done enough to get him to the point. Like, obviously the whole point is that he does this character arc of, you know, he's arrogant and braggadocious, and then he becomes humble and self-sacrificing. But they might have put too much emphasis on the romance between him and Natalie Portman. Rather than his own kind of character arc. Because I do get what you're saying, where they don't. I can't really think of too much in the movie where he does stuff out of the kindness of his own heart, because, you know, he like takes her out to the satellite, as they call it, to go get Mjolnir back, and that's entirely kind of self-serving for him. And he does say, like, I'll help, like, if you help me get out there, I'll help you get your stuff back. But it still is kind of self-serving for him.
Yeah,
and after that point, like, he gets arrested, he gets let out, and he has like some nice moments, but it's nothing that points towards him, you know, being that, like, he has this moment with Selvig in the bar where it's like, you know, for the first time, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, well, that's a good thing. You know, you should, you know, whatever they say. But I don't think it really pushes him towards, you know, I need to be more humble and self-sacrificial, you know?
Yeah, I get. I kind of wish he just talked about it a little bit more. I think that would have been kind of nice. But I think for your point earlier, just going off of what you said about him being likable, I still think he's likable, because I even like the scene where he does grab her book and he gives it back to her, and she's like, "Thank you, like this is a help," and then she like kind of has a moment of like, "Oh fuck," and he's like, "Is something wrong? Like what is it? Like I want to help you," type of thing. I thought that was really cool too.
Like, I'm trying to think in the final battle they have on the Bifrost, and he's like, these humans have made you weak. And I'm trying to think of, like, maybe they did something that set an example for him, and I can't think of anything that, like, the human characters did that maybe rubbed off on him in that kind of way. That's
why I think it would have been cool if they looked at him as like a kind of like, not like as he's a superhero, or like a dude, like, oh my god, like you're so cool, blah 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 blah. And I don't know, it would have been cool if there was like some type of relationship with him and the humans more, that he could like see like, oh, like these people are kind of depending on me too, and like I don't know what I'm looking for. I guess it just felt like there was something missing to make me kind of like get over that hump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thor didn't get there naturally.
When you lay it out like that, I understand it, and that makes sense. I didn't expect this to be a theme thing. I actually expected us to go through chronologically because that's how my notes are written now. But I do appreciate going over the big overall stuff. Let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins as Odin. Man,
dude,
I wrote in these notes that Sarah Halley Finn, who basically has done the casting direction for the entire MCU, has got to be one of the most exceptional people in this entire series. She just never misses with these castings.
Knocks it out the fucking part.
It's so crazy. So I love Odin in this movie because and it's. I think it's even better a little bit in the second movie too, because as someone who in the past few years has been reading through all these kind of Silver Age comics where these movies draw their origins, Odin is like one of the biggest fucking douchebags in the entire fucking Marvel canon. Like, he is the biggest piece of shit you've ever. Every single moment he's just like, my son Thor can't have his autonomy, he cannot be in love with a human, I must force him to take on a dangerous trial so that he may forget about this woman. It's like so funny how much of a dick he is, and I kind of see flashes of that here where he is just like so almighty that he just doesn't have this humanity, even though he's kind of the emotional counterpoint to Thor, at least in the beginning. Like, you are an angry, cruel boy, but you're an old man and a fool.
You're an old man and a fool.
But he's great. Anthony Hopkins is great as I love him narrating. Narrating. I'm pretty sure he narrates the second movie too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he narrates the beginning, telling the story of the Dark Elves or whatever. But another thing I love about this beginning is when he's narrating, and the music, by the way. Oh my god, the Asgard theme in this movie is swelling and beautiful. I love it. And it plays over the credits too. But
I just want to say, like, Asgard in general, like, I love seeing Asgard in every movie. I just love when it gets there. Cool. I'm just like, this is amazing. It kind of, and I feel the same way about Wakanda too. Like, whenever Wakanda shows up, I'm like, this is so cool. I love being here, right? Yeah. And I think Asgard, was kind of like the start of that for me. Yeah,
I think they did a great job with this design here, and I love when he's there and he's like, we then returned home to the glory of our sacred home, and it's like, panning, and you see, you were joking about it, like, I said upside down, but I love how he's like, you think you're looking at like a mountain, and then the camera like pans down, and it's actually the underside of like the floating landmass of Asgard. It's like this giant golden crystal monuments of the gods. It's so fun. The music swells with the Asgard. It's so fucking cool, dude. It's like one of my favorite moments in Phase 1. It's just so it just sticks in my mind as like this amazing piece of just everything coming together for this great reveal of this set piece. Good. So we get this moment, and I commented on this while we were watching, where the narration comes to an end, and he's like walking with the kid versions of Thor and Loki. And he's telling them the story about the Frost Giants, and he tells them, like, only one of you can ascend to the throne, but both of you were born to be king. And it's two things. One, I actually like the foreshadowing, talking about how, like, Loki is the son of the king of the Frost Giants, so he was technically born to be king of Jotunheim. And Thor was born to be king of Asgard. So that's a nice piece of foreshadowing, even though he probably shouldn't be saying that if he doesn't want Loki to find out that he's the son of Laufey.
Yeah,
But also, it's just like, it really highlights the poor decision making he's doing here, where he's like raising these kids to compete with each other to try and be king of Asgard. And it's like, that's a really short-sighted thing to do, Odin. I don't know if telling these people that they were both born to be king, but only one of you can ascend the throne.
Yeah, that felt like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's like, no wonder Loki turned out the way he did,
Right. Speaking of Loki, I don't want to jump ahead, so I'm going to start at the part.
So don't worry.
That I really love for, like, I don't think it might be the next scene. It's the scene where, like, they're older now, And it might have been, I can't tell if it's before. No, I think it's before they get to Jotunheim. But like Odin's like chewing out Thor, and fucking Tom Hiddleston's face, where he's like staying quiet. He's looking like, oh well, they're arguing again. He doesn't say anything, and then the moment he does say anything is when we get the
His facial acting is so fucking good. I wrote a note about one of them where he after the Frost Giants fucking get their asses kicked in the treasure vault, and Thor's like all like, oh, I can't believe Father doesn't want us to go after the Frost Giants. And Loki sits him down and it's like, it's the way it is. You can't defy him. You can't do anything without defying Father. Yeah. And Thor's like, oh, well then. And Loki's like, no, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Right.
And Thor starts going off about it. It's like, we'll go to Jotunheim. And Loki's like, he planted this idea. And he just sits there. And he has it, when Thor, like, looks at him, he's like, oh, God, no, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
But as soon as Thor looks away, you see, like, he has, like, that smile. Like, yes, I've lured him perfectly into this. And it's, like, so perfect. It's like, that's Loki right there. Yes.
Exactly. That's why I love. It's like he plays, like, he does both well, like, oh, I'm just innocent Loki, and I'm like just here to support my family in Asgard. But he also, like, he does the switch so well, and it's so natural of like, yeah, but also fuck Asgard, I want to be king. Like,
and that's why I wrote here, and I still believe this, that I think Tom Hiddleston is the best piece of casting in the entire MCU.
Oh yes, definitely.
It's just in every single thing he's been in, he's perfect, and it's so crazy because he was on the list of people who may have been Thor, but he ended up being Loki.
What? I can't see it. Yeah. I can't.
He's just too perfect as Loki that I just can't see him as Thor,
That, and also his build.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Hiddleston's always been like this little guy to me. But like that's what makes Loki great, because he has such big fucking stature in his aura. There we go.
So,
Tom Hiddleston.
He's the best part of the movie for me. Every time he's on screen, I just love watching him in every movie, but especially this one. Just compared to everything else in the movie, he's just so great. And we'll obviously
he should get like his own show.
Right.
I will watch it.
All right. So let's talk about something I don't like, though. Where are you on the Warriors 3 and Sif in this movie?
You mean Jackie Chan,
Robin Hood, and Xena?
Robin Hood, and what's the last one? What's that?
Xena, Warrior Princess. Never watched
that? I know what that is. I've heard of it. I've never watched it. Okay. But I know it. Okay, that's what he said. I was like, who is that? But that makes sense. Dude, I don't care. They're all fodder.
Here's the thing. Like, they're important. They are like,
they are.
His best friends in the comics. So I think it is.
I think they're needed in the movie too.
I think they do add something, but for one thing, I hate the scene where he introduces them. Like, after when they show up and they all agree to go together.
Oh, dude, I hate that.
And
part too.
He's like, Fandral, you did all this, and Hogan, you did all this, and Volstagg, you did this. It's just like, it's so clearly just exposition, and I hate scenes like that where it's just, the veil on the expedition is just so thin you can just see right through it. It's really frustrating.
I might date this podcast a little bit, but yesterday I literally just went to go see Until Dawn, the movie. And there's a scene at the beginning where like there are a group of like young adults and they're talking and they're like, well, you remember that one time we blah, blah, and I don't like that in writing. I just don't do it. Yeah. Just show me that these characters are friends without, because I would never be like, Riley, you're the friend that does this.
I mean, it's just
Max, you're the friend that does this.
It's just like in the prequels, like at the start of Attack of the Clones, when Anakin and Obi-Wan are on the elevator, and he's like, this is just like when I saved you from that nest of Gundogs, Master. And it's like, 9 times. That time, no, that doesn't count. I think I might be from episode 3, but it's just like very forced exposition to show these guys are friends. And they do it again in this movie when, I think it's right at the start where it's like, Jane, you're an astrophysicist and not a storm chaser. It's just like, it's not as bad, but it's still like, it really stands out.
And it's weird because you can keep that sort of dialogue, but don't at like I would say like if I was writing that scene, especially the Jane scene, I would just be like, "Oh, so you're a Stormcatcher now? Perfect." You don't. That's all you have to say, and it's like, like I don't know. It's just you don't have to like say that this character is this. We already know. We should be shown it. You know what I'm saying?
I think if you tweak this scene with the introducing of the Warriors 3 and Sif, I think it like I think the idea is there where it's like Thor is like hyping up his friends so they will follow him into the darkness of Jotunheim without Odin's permission. I think that it when you put it in writing like that, it makes sense. Like he's introducing them as exposition, but in the form of like hyping them up. And I think that's a good idea. I just don't like the execution of it.
It would be kind of cool, and of course it would be a longer movie. But it'd be cool if he's like, it was like, I don't know, I forgot what he says to him, but he's like, weren't you the warrior that did this?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, and it does like a small flashback. It shows like the little scenes.
Right.
That would be kind of cool because you get to see more of like this world of like Asgard and these warriors and what they have done, and it cuts back to like, yes, like I just think that would be really cool. But I also understand that budgeting, and you don't want to do all that if you could just do away with dialogue. So, but sorry, to answer your question. They're fine. I do think they're needed in this story. I just kind of wish I got more of them, or like they just had more character, I guess.
Yeah,
because it kind of seemed like they move as a group.
Well,
they're not individuals.
It's a big cast, honestly, for this standalone movie. There are a lot of characters, and I think it might have behooved them to. It's just one of those. It's the Iron Man 2 problem again. It's just they need to focus a little more on a couple of aspects. Except in this case, I think it's just maybe cut down a couple of cast members, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe blend some.
Yeah, maybe because they've done that later on. All right, so Idris Elba is in this movie.
Yeah.
So I love Heimdall in the MCU.
Yeah. I think he gets better. I think this movie is like, I don't know. I don't think he's like bad or anything. It's just I'm just like, oh, I wonder what, like, this character seems really cool. I want them to do more with him. Like, I want this character to come back, and then he does. So I kind of like as a viewer, like new, I would be like, oh, I want this character to do more. And if they brought him back, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm ready to see what that character can do. And I think he does do a lot in the MCU. So. Yeah, here he's cool. Yeah, he's just a cool character. I always like his fucking armor, like the gold armor and like his golden eyes. It looks good, man.
I think it's a good representation of the character, like this eternal watcher who guards the Bifrost. I think he's a good fit for it. Let's see. So they get to Jotunheim, and it's not my favorite looking area. I think it's it makes sense that it's just it's this dark wasteland because there's like the shell of what's left after Odin conquered them. I get it, but it's just like not really too interesting to look at in my opinion.
Yeah.
They have a little action scene which is fine. I like getting to see like the different ways the characters fight. I love Loki tricking a guy to go off a cliff with a clone. I think that's great.
That guy had no plan. He just wanted to tackle someone.
The one thing I love is him spinning the hammer and using it to like create shrapnel out of the ice on the ground. I think that's just great. And they end up doing this big chase scene with a giant ice beast thing, and
which I thought was cool because it runs underneath like the falling, like it's collapsing. I think.
Yeah.
And it's like running on the collapsing parts, but underneath. I was like, that's cool. Like. Oh, yeah. That was dope.
I think it was fun. I think I just don't love the action in this movie.
Me neither.
I think a lot of the times especially when it's two guys of the same kind of build fighting, which you don't see too much in this movie. I think the camera work isn't amazing. I think it's the choreography is just kind of okay. It's just not anything. I don't remember too many moves that like really stand out, except oddly enough when Thor is a human and he's just beating up fucking doctors and guards and shit.
Okay,
like when
yeah,
he's just
that's
throwing
true.
people. That stands out to me just because it's
I guess your
pretty
hallway
funny,
scene.
you know. But yeah, they get bailed out by Odin. I love some of the details in this movie just really tickle me. And I love when Odin shows up, he's riding on Sleipnir, the eight-legged horse of Norse legend. And, like, that's the thing where I can imagine lots of people will watch this movie and they don't even notice that that fucking horse has 8 legs for some reason.
I didn't notice, so yeah, there you go.
I just, that's just, like, they didn't need to do that. They could have just had him come in. They could have had him come in on a fucking Pegasus for all we care. No one would have fucking bet. And they're like, hang on,
they're like,
that
it's Odin.
Greek? It's like, but no, they went the extra effort. They went the extra mile to try and, you know, fit in a bit more of the mythology that they're adapting here.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. All right. So, Kat Dennings is my next note.
Of why? That should be your last note. She's clearly the most important character in this movie.
So I agree with you. I don't hate Kat Dennings as an actor. For the most part. I haven't really seen her in too much, but my God, dude, I fucking can't stand her in this movie and the next movie. And she wasn't in the third one, thank God.
In WandaVision. I liked her in WandaVision.
She was in WandaVision. Yeah, she was fine in WandaVision. My God, she's just so not funny in this movie. Like, I'm sure that's not her, the actress.
Comedy is subjective, Riley.
Sure. And my subjective opinion is that it was not funny. It was just like every line she had just not only wasn't funny, but it just felt like it ground the scenes to a halt. Because you'll have Jane and Selvig talking about stuff, like they're talking about science or the plot or Norse mythology or whatever. Yeah, and she'll just like have a line, and they just have to like ignore her. And I feel like I'm just in the same boat where I'm just in the audience trying to ignore her while they're talking about the stuff that actually matters.
I told Riley this during the film. I think that character would work if she was younger, like if she was like a teen, maybe, you know, because like it's like, all right, the teen is talking, right? Like they're not caring about the bigger picture because that's not in their view, right? They care about the music and stuff on their iPod. They care about the superficial things. But this is a grown ass woman being like, but the song's on my iPod. And I don't know why I keep referencing that, but it's like the one that sticks out to me the most because, like you said, her and Selvig are having this conversation on the top of a roof, and they're like, fuck, like, we got, like, our shit is taken by the government. We gotta figure out what our next step is. And she's like, my iPod. And it's like, what? Dude, focus. And Jane just turns like, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah. I think that would work if she was younger, you know, as a teen, because it would make more sense to her character. But being this grown woman just doesn't to me.
I think for some people that will make it funnier. Like this grown woman who acts like a child, you know. I think some people might find that funny. Right. It's just not for me.
Same.
But you know, I even though I don't find her funny, I do think she adds something to the dynamic between these three characters. And I actually really like the three main human characters in this movie. Kat Dennings not so much, but I like Jane and Selvig and how they interact with each other and Thor in this movie. I think it works. And I understand the idea of making this a fish out of water. Thor's a human he's a human interacting with other humans, and he has to learn stuff and stuff. I think that is, it's like you said, it's more of a hindrance than a boon to the movie. But I think they did a good job with it, honestly.
If my memory serves me correctly, I remember, I don't know why, I don't know where I got this from, but I thought Selvig was like this like crazy scientist guy, right?
That's in the second movie.
That could. Oh, okay, maybe that's why, and that kind of makes sense with the whole like post-credit scene. So my mind has always been like, oh, he's this crazy dude, right? And then I watched this movie and I was like, no, he's very stoic and he's kind of cool. Like he's just kind of like, he seems like what your professor would be like at a college campus, you know, like he knows what he's talking about. He clearly wants what's best for, you know, the group that if he's teaching you for his class and, you know, stuff like that. And I think that's really cool. I really enjoyed the talk of him and Thor at the bar. I thought that was really nice. Yeah, so I agree. I do like Selvig, Jane, and Jane. I even like Kat Dennings, the what she stands for. I don't know if I actually like the direction that they went
Oh
with her,
god.
um, but I
I
understand why they would have a character like that when you
I
have these other two who are like high strung on science.
yeah, I'll mention the one Kat Dennings bit that made me laugh.
Meow meow.
No, I fucking hate
I
that
know you
joke.
hate that
Because they bring it back in the second movie too, and it's fucking I hate it, dude. So let me see, where am I in my notes? Gotta hate Kat Dennings, New Mexico. I thought I had more before them,
dude.
but
Like, how do you come up with Asgard and then go to New Mexico?
well, I think that's supposed to be kind of the contrast here. Like
it's
Thor goes up
terrible.
in
It's stupid. Not everything needs the contrast. Just
I'm
give me
not going to
something
comment
nice to
on
look
its
at.
efficacy. I'm just trying to
I
put
know.
it in the mindset of where they're coming from here.
Fair.
Like I think the idea is there. They might need a stronger script to make it work. Maybe. Okay. So
more props.
Yeah. So they. Okay. He get. All right. First of all, I love. I already mentioned this, but I love Thor beating the shit out of doctors. I think it's just really funny. Just how
really
over
good.
exaggerated his strength is. I love it.
Yeah.
And there's. All right. Let me mention the scene that made me laugh with Kat Dennings. They're in like their van or whatever, and they're like, God,
is it the
he's
stunt
left the
guy?
hospital, and
Yeah.
God, and now all right, we're gonna go find him, and they don't. This is probably why it made me laugh because she doesn't talk to
Yeah.
make this joke. She just fucking pulls out her like
Pulls out the
taser,
stun
starts
gun,
readying
reloads it.
Yeah, that's a really funny joke.
I noticed that. And I was like, that's kind of cool. That's kind of funny.
I
She makes a
also-
face too, like, huh?
Yeah, she's
all
like,
right.
I'm just so fucking ready. I love right after that when she's like, all right, let's go. And she starts backing out, and she backs right into him as he's like crossing the street. Natalie Portman saying, "What?" is so funny in that scene. Like, what the fuck? I love it.
That's fair.
Okay, we gotta talk about something because this came up. They get back to her apartment, and she gives him, here, have this shirt.
Oh fuck!
And
Yes,
it has a name tag for
Donald
Donald
Blake.
Blake on it. And
Yeah.
you weren't familiar with that. So Donald Blake is the original alter ego, that's the word, of Thor in the comics. So when the comics first began, it was like Donald Blake is this I think he's a surgeon. That sounds right. He's basically a doctor. And he goes to Norway and he finds Mjolnir, and that allows him to become, when he holds it in his hands, it allows him to become Thor. And as the comics went on, the line of who Donald Blake was and when he becomes Thor became really weird and blurred, because when he's Thor, he speaks of Odin as if Odin's his actual father, and he's going home to Asgard. And it's like he's becoming this person, but who is Thor and who is Donald Blake originally? And eventually it's revealed that Odin created, he basically turned Thor into Donald Blake and got rid of all his memories to teach him humility, which is where they drew the plot point for this movie. So Donald Blake is basically just a person that Odin created to become the alter ego of Thor while he was on Earth. So that's the reference they're making. In this, they just say that he's an ex-boyfriend of Jane. But it's just a neat little reference.
He also uses him.
Yeah, they say that's who he is.
Contact with him. Yeah. It's interesting.
But
would you like this more if Thor didn't have his memories? Like if it was he unlocks his memories after he gains humility?
Probably not. I think that probably would have just been too much bloat.
Right. Okay.
All right. Let's talk about my favorite scene. And I said this to you. The scene between Loki and Odin, I think, is my favorite scene in the entirety of the first phase of Marvel. First of all, I like how they do set it up with earlier on Jotunheim, he gets grabbed, but he doesn't get they immediately say it up where it's don't let them touch you, and then Loki gets touched, and he's like, what's going on? I'm turning blue. That's weird. And he goes back and he touches the cat. What's the Cache of Endless Winter or something? Or maybe I'm thinking something else. I don't know.
Little box.
Yeah, something like that. And dude, this scene where Tom Hiddleston and Anthony Hopkins are just acting at each other is so fucking good. And
Am I cursed? No.
Tell me! Dude, I remember every time I watch this, I'm just so astounded by two bits right, like, sort of back to back, where Odin's like, I hope that through you we will be able to foster an alliance with the Frost Giants. And Loki's just like, what? And it's like the most like vulnerable I've ever heard him. Like he's like he's a kid again, just like being told this, and it's like so good, that little piece. And then oh my god, the delivery he gives when Anthony Hopkins is like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to hurt you, and he's just like, why? Because I'm the monster that parents tell their children about at night, and like the stuttering in his voice, it's like him like just trying to comprehend everything. It's so good, and then it immediately just starts
Odin's response.
He's like,
like
twist my words.
My words, yeah.
And like after he said like that they tell their children about at night, it just immediately switches to just that megalomaniacal anger. It's like, now it all makes sense now why you favor Thor after all these years, because no matter how much you claim to love me, you can have a frost giant on the throne of Asgard. It's like, dude,
Odin clocks out.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, I can't handle. I'm gonna go to bed. He is so good. It's like such an acting masterclass, in my opinion.
If I were to watch this as a director, I would be like, holy fuck. Like, whoa. I'm making
we got something. We got the guy we need here. This is gonna be the villain of Avengers right here.
Yeah.
I love it. It's this. Anytime I think about this movie, and I think about, man, that I like that one, I'm mainly thinking of this scene, and then the rest of the movie, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's fine.
This might have been very melodramatic, but this is another scene I like. Is before this, I believe. It's when Thor is beating up on doctors. I love him getting to the hammer and trying to lift it, right? And you can see all his veins. But I actually do really love the slow motion. It's raining, everyone's staring at him, and he just like gets in the knees and he just screams. I love it. I just like, this is cool to me.
I especially like how they tease you with like the music. Like the music makes it seem like it's gonna happen. Like, and obviously when you think about the story, it's like, well, he hasn't really done anything to put like it probably isn't gonna happen. But the music does a great job in almost making you believe that he's gonna be able to lift it. So let's see. I already mentioned all that. Oh, I wanted to ask, how do you feel about Thor having like bleached eyebrows in this movie?
Yeah. Wait.
Like they made his eyebrows blonde.
What?
You know,
Thor one.
His beard.
Oh yeah, you're so right. You know, I always look at this movie and I'm like, Thor looks different, but maybe it's because I'm so used to seeing him. But that makes perfect sense.
It's the eyebrows. Yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it might make him look younger.
Yeah.
Oddly.
Yeah.
And when he gets like the brunette kind of facial hair, I think it makes him look older, look like he's a changed man. So I don't mind it in this movie because he seems pretty young.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's something.
You don't really like it? You like
no.
In his face?
No, I don't really feel one way or the other about it. I honestly don't really notice it that much. Okay. I love. So you were mentioning him trying to lift the hammer. This whole scene's like fine. Yeah, we get a Hawkeye cameo, a pre-cameo, I guess, because it's already introduced. Not too. I mean, it's like I guess it's good because he's one of the Avengers in Avengers, so it's nice that he is set up in a movie. Whereas who is it? Who isn't? I guess the Avengers are all pre-existing characters, aren't they?
Yeah.
In the Avengers, I was trying to think of someone who wasn't, but maybe I'm just thinking that Hawkeye got such a little cameo that he feels like he's introduced in Avengers, because he basically is. He barely has any lines in this movie. Anyway, what I was going to say is
to me,
I guess,
in Avengers, I was like,
you completely forgot he was in Thor. Yeah. You didn't even remember. I wrote that I like how Shield has a dedicated mini boss in this camp. Like they just have a dude who's like bigger than all the other dudes.
I told you, Riley. I said this to Riley. That guy can say that he actually wrestled the god of fucking thunder.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, we talked about the bar scene already. And I don't have any more notes until like the end of the movie after the climax. So
yeah.
How do you feel about the climax?
I just kind of need a shooter up high, one with a gun. The climax. Okay. Once again, this is kind of just the like a overall, was it summation? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Sure.
Yeah, summation of the movie in general. But I like when Thor gets to Asgard. All that shit is cool. But him and his group of pals fighting the metal thing. They don't do anything interesting with it. It doesn't look cool. It just
I like the part where he like turns around, like he reverses himself. I think that part's cool.
Yeah, but they only do it like that one time.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if like the fight like he just kept reversing himself to like hit different people. I also kind of like him trying to talk it down, or he talked Loki down, and he just like gets back in. That's cool. I didn't really like the scene after that when Jane runs up to him and is like, "What?" And she like holds him, and then that's when he gets the Thor. I just thought it was a little cheesy, but that's that's just superhero movies. Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool when he like lifts him up in a tornado and like fights him in the air. I think that's kind of neat. It's short and they don't do like a lot with it, but for what it is, it's kind of neat. Before he goes back to Asgard, though, I didn't really write too much about like everything that Loki does. Like I mentioned how I just love him and like what he's doing, but I think it's interesting how Marvel has this kind of bad reputation, which I don't care about. That's your musical reference today. They have like a bad reputation for early villains being like kind of bad and one note, not memorable.
Oh yeah, true.
And obviously the exception is Loki, but I think it's really cool how he is the villain of this movie. There's no way around it. But they still make him. They still do everything they can to make him three dimensional. You know, with his motivation, but also in the actions he does. Like he invites the Frost Giants and Laufey down to Asgard to kill Odin, just to kill them in return, and declare like you were slain by the son of Odin. And he's not trying. He's not trying to be like, at this point in time, he's not trying to be the supreme ruler. It is for his own vanity, obviously. He's Loki. But there is also this, like, he wants to make Odin proud. He wants to prove that he is the right choice to succeed Odin. And he's going to do it by destroying Jotunheim. And I think
destroying Thor.
And Thor, yeah, that's just a bonus. But
yeah,
I think it's really interesting how they did. Like, they gave him this tragic backstory, like he is the son of the Frost Giants who was brought home and lied to his entire life about who he is. And his answer to that is to just double down into the Asgard side and prove himself to Odin by destroying this land that he found out was his home. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, they don't go like too much deeper into it because this movie's already pretty long. But I commend them trying to make a more nuanced villain than we've seen up to this point. It's also it's a fun little fight between them on the Bifrost. I like how they knew that Thor was just kind of like so easily going to overpower Loki, so they decided to give. He has like his trickster powers, but he's also wielding Gungnir, which is pretty fucking powerful. As we see, he like one shot Laufey with it.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So Thor's hammer, like Mjolnir, has always been heavy, right?
Yeah.
But Odin puts the curse on it that anyone who's worthy can have the powers of Thor, which I didn't know he says that in this movie. So I know a lot of people were complaining like, wait, Captain America could use his fucking hammer, but why can he use thunder lightning? That doesn't make any sense. But watching this movie, I'm like, oh, actually, it makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense.
He has the power of Thor.
He has the power of the god of thunder. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what I was gonna ask. I was gonna say like, well, one thing I want to talk about Loki trying to pick up the hammer. I thought that was really cool, but that made me think like, oh, could Loki always pick up the hammer prior to, because the curse wasn't on, or the spell wasn't on it before, or
so I don't know for sure. I don't know if it's confirmed anywhere. I feel like being lifting the hammer and being worthy to lift the hammer was always a thing on it. I believe that's my interpretation. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that was always the case. And Odin basically just
reinforced.
He basically took Thor's powers away and stored them in Mjolnir and said like he can get them back when he is worthy to pick it up again. And I guess that just like those powers subsided in the hammer even after Thor got them back. So so that's why Captain America can still use it in Endgame.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I feel like that might be the case. So
okay. I think that's cool. Either way, I just thought it was really interesting that Loki tried to like pick it up and he looks down like, what the fuck?
God damn it, dude. It's neat. Yeah. It really plays into his character well. So yeah, the last couple notes I have. Anything else about their little spat they have? I could have done it, Father. I could have done it.
I really like Thor putting the hammer on Loki. That's what made me
That's great.
Ask. He's just like, I forgot what Loki says. He's like, "Is this? What can you do now?
All the power in the world. What goes to do you now, huh?"
No, you're not gonna be able to see her again.
Yeah, I love how he. I wish there was some way for him to like keep the hammer on Loki and still be able to like at least crack the bridge, and then when he's ready to deal the final blow, then he calls the hammer over and swings it once to destroy it. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But the way they do it is fine. So I
could have did it, Father.
I could have done it. No, Loki. All right, peace.
Peace.
Brother.
No.
They have a scene towards the end, Thor and Odin after the climax, where it's like, oh, I could never ask for a better father. And I'm interested in that line because I feel like based on the rest of the movie, like we're led to believe Odin is not a very good father based on what we've seen in this movie.
I was gonna jokingly say, because I had this kind of loaded up, but then kind of forgot about it. But I was gonna say like, fucking this whole movie is just Odin gaslighting everyone into believing that he's like fucking sick or sleep or whatever. But in actuality, he just wanted to teach his sons a lesson. And I'm just like, that's such shitty behavior from your fucking parental figure.
I think what he did with Thor is good. Taking Thor's powers away to teach him humility, I think is a good idea. I think everything with Loki, though, is kind of a failure on his part. And I wish they would have acknowledged that more. I wish, instead of Thor just being like, oh, you're a great father and a great king, and I could never live up to you, I kind of wish he was like, Dad, that, like, all the stuff you do with Loki, that was kind of fucked up. Like, you did him no favors in raising him. But they don't really comment on that. And I don't remember if they do too much in the, like, he's barely in the second movie.
Yeah.
Or not the second movie. I guess the third movie just dies pretty soon. I don't know. We could maybe talk about that when we get to the later movies, but it's interesting certainly. And the last note I have is when they're at the big feast and everyone's like celebrating a job well done or whatever. I love the details they put to call back to the character origins, both in their Marvel incarnation and the Norse mythology originations. You see everyone like celebrating at the feast, and the only person who isn't like laughing and smiling with everyone else is Hogun. And I'm pretty sure that was done deliberately because Hogun is called Hogun the Grim. And he's that fits into his character. He isn't like celebrating with everyone, he is just there, partaking.
Right.
So I hope that was done deliberately. I'm not sure if it was, but I liked that detail.
That's cool.
And then the ending, she's looking for you, swelling music, and cut to credits. It's pretty nice.
I know we kind of like briefly went over. I just love the idea of Heimdall being able to like see anywhere and like in the like little realm thing that they have. That's just cool to me.
And I like how it also kind of bolsters our respect for Loki and his powers, where he's like, I can do things that even you can't see with all your wisdom, Watcher. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna fucking murk Loki.
yeah. This is kind of neat. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm disappointed he didn't get even a bit. Like, I kind of wish we got to see Loki, like, almost, like, get a little fearful. Like, holy shit, he almost actually got me. Like, I came in with this plan to just, like, freeze him, but he actually almost fucking got me, even though I was ready for it. But I do like how he fucking just breaks out through his own willpower and kills the frost giants.
Fucking kills the giants. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Pretty neat. All right. Well, what's a post-credit scene we have? I guess.
I want to say Heimdall has one of my favorite scenes in Thor 2.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
Fair enough. I'm interested in talking about Thor 2 at some point. Post-credit scene is the reveal that Loki is apparently still alive. Something to do with him manipulating Selvig, and we get the introduction of the Tesseract. Which
I don't remember
in Iron Man 2, but
that post-credit scene at all. Like that was definitely like my first time watching that. Like I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. I love the what does Loki say? And he repeats it.
He says, "Well, that could be worth a look," or something like that.
That could be worth a look.
Cut to black. I like it because it's it's interesting. It's introducing this MacGuffin that's gonna be like the central key plot point of the next two movies, because it's like the big MacGuffin in Captain America, which then becomes the next big MacGuffin in the Avengers. And it's this great thing. Avengers is great about tying all the characters and plot points of the component movies together. How you get Loki coming back as a villain, you get the Tesseract as the big MacGuffin, and then of course you have all these characters, even incidental ones like the various Shield characters and obviously the heroes coming back. And I think Thor was one of the first movies that... I mean, obviously, Iron Man 2 was, like, spent maybe a little too much time trying to set up this whole idea of, like, getting the Avengers together. But I think Thor does a great job of both expanding the universe we know and also getting things ready for this big showdown in the Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
without compromising its own story and characters, I think. I think it does a better job than Iron Man 2 of that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So,
would you prefer to watch this over Iron Man 2?
I don't know. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
I think this was my worst movie in our rankings.
Really?
After we finish Phase 4, we're gonna re-rank.
Okay, fair enough.
But fun. I would say that I don't think I would keep it as low now. But I'm not sure. It's still. I think the New Mexico parts are pretty boring. Like, there's not much Thor in this movie.
I don't hate them. When Thor is there and he's with the other characters, I think it does work. I think it's when he's off on his own and they're off on their own, just trying to figure the plot out. I think it could be better. I think there's a little bit of faffing, if you will, that didn't need to be the case.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know though. I these might sit on the same level. Iron Man 2 in this.
Right.
I don't know.
How do they compare to Incredible Hulk?
Better, I think.
Okay, so Hulk's
I think I'd rather
like the worst one then.
Yeah, I think Hulk is probably the worst one we've seen so far.
All right. And then Iron Man might be the best one.
Oh yes, hands down.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I would say Iron Man's probably still the best of Phase 1. I think Iron Man's better than Avengers, honestly, but that's just me.
Yeah, that is just... No, I'm kidding.
Listen, man, we're going to talk... We've been doing this podcast for at least a year now. I don't know quite how long, but I am going to air my grievances about the Avengers, and it's going to be glorious.
I know. And I'm going to fanboy so fucking hard about that movie. And
I'll be there with you. Listen, the Avengers as The Avengers is incredible. It is seriously an incredible movie with incredible moments and great characters and dialogue. I have some deep-seated problems with it, though.
I know.
Make it annoying. But that's obviously a discussion for another day.
Yeah. I can't wait. We have 3 more okay, we only have 1 more movie until we get to the Avengers.
Right.
But in terms of podcasts,
dude, I can't wait to talk about Captain America with you, man. Woo!
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that one again. I think that
I seriously think
I'm willing to say that might be my second. It might be the second best one, but I don't
America,
know.
Like that movie, honestly, for me, just gets better every time I watch it. I don't know how, because I don't even like it that much. But I seriously think that movie just has something special about it, man.
Okay, all right. I'm hearing you.
I don't know if you'll feel the same, but I don't know if you'll love it when we sit down. I don't know. Is it another one where it's like you've only seen it like once or twice?
Yes, yeah.
Right.
I've seen that one, I think, though, like 3 times.
Okay,
maybe.
All right.
I don't really remember the back half of that movie though.
Right. Yeah.
But
that.
I kind of remember a lot of like the beginning stuff.
We'll get Tommy Lee Jones back. He'll be an alumnus of our podcast.
Yeah, we love Tommy Lee Jones here.
I don't care.
I'm Captain America. I don't care. Yeah, I went to. So the next movie we're gonna watch is a spooky movie.
Spooky secret Chris movie.
Yes, I think though, I want to get our first guest on the podcast for it.
Like for the whole thing.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. I want them to watch the movie with us, and I want them to be a part of the podcast. It's one of my friends, but you don't know them.
Okay.
Only because me and them, we have dissenting opinions about.
Okay. And you want
so
me
it'd be really nice to
breaker.
have 2 different things, and then see how you feel about the movie, being a new person who's watched the movie.
Okay.
It's a fairly new movie.
All right.
Do you want to know what the title is now, or do you want to go in blind?
It's completely up to you.
Nah, man, you gotta choose.
We can go in blind. I mean,
Okay,
here, how
cool.
about here? Right. Do you want me to deafen myself, and then you can tell the audience, and then I won't be able to hear you?
Yeah. Do you want me to just message you when I'm done?
I'll just do for 5 seconds or so. All right, go.
Okay. Really, that movie.
All right.
Okay.
So,
that was perfect. You came back perfect. All right. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that'll be the next one, and then after that, either just a movie I pick, or maybe at some point, I promise, we're gonna do Lord of the Rings.
If you want to start with the first one, we can.
Yeah.
If you want to do after the movie I do.
After yours, yeah, we might, or I might. I do have a few movies that I have here that I do want to watch at some point, so I'll decide either one of those, or maybe we could just do Lord of the Rings, and then we'll probably be back for Captain America after that, or we could do
I'm trying to think
some other bonus episode like we did before. We'll see.
Like I do want to get more frequent with our podcast and stuff, just so we can watch more movies. Yeah, true.
This is great. Yeah,
true.
I'm very happy that we've been able to do this more often, because these are fun.
Yeah, and I just want to get into like if we do like themes. Like Christmas movies, because I really do want to watch.
If we get to the point
Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh my God! You want to watch Muppets Christmas Carol?
Yeah, because
I love it.
I want to do a Christmas Carol where we watch. You watch a Muppets Christmas Carol, and I show you Disney's A Christmas Carol, because that's the best Christmas horror movie.
Which Disney one are you talking about?
The one with what's my dude's name? I can see his face. Jim Carrey.
Oh, the Jim Carrey. Okay, yeah.
I love that fucking movie. I love that movie. It's my favorite Christmas movie.
I saw that in theaters when it came out. That was pretty fun. Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah, dude, we gotta do Muppets Treasure Island too. Oh, that'll be for Pirate Day.
Yeah.
We'll do Pirate Day. What day is Pirate Day? Hang on,
dude. Okay.
Pirate Day. International Talk Like a Pirate Day is September 19th. Okay, September 19th. We're gonna do that.
Okay, so I gotta find a pirate movie too. We gotta do a double feature.
That'll be great. Do a double feature podcast. That'll be fun.
I think I've seen a few pirate movies in my day.
Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, dude, we should do fucking Pirates of the Caribbean for the podcast. That'd be fun.
Oh, I'm cool with that. Yeah,
like those
yeah,
movies.
because I want to get more into that.
Yeah, because I remember we watched the
series.
first one together.
Yeah, watch the second one too, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
down.
do that too. Man, we got so much stuff. Yeah, we're already doing these pretty frequently, but if we eventually get to bi-weekly, I think should be our major target. I don't think weekly is very practical for us, but yeah, we have a lot of stuff we could do for this.
Yeah, because Black History Month, I'm definitely going to show you some Black classics.
Okay.
Gotta see what Riley thinks about my community and our movies.
All right.
Some of them you've already seen though. I think because we watched Friday together, right?
Yeah, we watched
and
Friday.
We watched Hoodlum together.
Maybe.
That's the one with what's your fucking Roth, Tim Roth.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No. I think you're right.
Anyway, I don't want to go on. Plug
right.
socials.
Yeah. This one with Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. No. I remember this. Plug socials. Isolation on YouTube. I'm finishing up releasing Final Fantasy IV. We've been recording Final Fantasy V. We haven't done that in a little while, but that'll be coming out once Final Fantasy IV is done. I'll be releasing the end of my my KH3 Level 1 series I recorded months ago. That'll be coming out. More Heroes of the Storm is coming out. Just lots of gaming stuff. I play a lot of games. I haven't been releasing as much as I have in the past, but that's because I'm at a new job, so I'm very busy. Other than that, Isolation on Twitch. I don't stream. I stream even less than I upload, but sometime I might be on there, probably playing card games. Is what I mainly do on there. And that is it. No other socials. Chris.
Riley, can I ask you something before I give my socials?
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I think mine stopped recording.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I don't know when it stopped.
Okay,
so
cool.
Yeah, thank you. My socials, rose.coloredboy on Instagram, Modern Day Age everywhere else. Twitter is Modern Day Age with 2 E's, 1 E everywhere else. YouTube, I don't know, Snapchat, MySpace, AOL. Yeah, Modern Day Age. So catch me there. My question for you, before we leave, is: do you think you're worthy enough to pick up Mjolnir?
No.
Why not?
Because they're fucking superheroes who tried to pick it up and they couldn't, and they're much fucking better people than me.
What you think? You think Iron Man is a better person than you?
I'm not specifically saying Iron Man, but like
I know. I'm just gonna.
Rhodey seems like he's probably like Rhodey's a American war hero. You know, he seems like a pretty decent guy.
Well, that's
you
true.
Know?
That's,
and he couldn't pick it up. And he's probably a better person than me.
That's
Bruce
fair.
Banner.
All right.
Seems like a...
You think I think Peter should be able to pick it up.
I don't know. He is still kind of a dumb teenager, makes dumb teenager decisions. I think
like
when he matures
having everyone erase his.
When he matures a bit, he might be able to.
That's fair. Okay, all right. That's my question. I don't think I'll be able to pick it up.
All right.
Definitely
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But Max, you think Max can pick it up?
No.
Okay.
No one in our chat is able to pick it up.
Oh my god, that was funny. Holy shit.
Yeah. Nah,
All
Max.
right.
I love Max. He's not picking up.
Oh wow.
I think maybe Hector could pick it up. But that's because he's like quiet. He doesn't say anything.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. That's
all right. Next time on the Up and After podcast.
Next time on the Up and After podcast, maybe a guest. I'm excited about that. But yeah, we'll see.
All right, that'll be it. Have a Thorsome day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.